Welcome to another episode of Inspire Careers Spotlight on Careers, the video podcast series where I interview career professionals, introduce you to their businesses, and talk a little bit about why career-minded professionals need to know about what they're talking about to help improve their careers and expand their network. I'm really excited today to offer to you Tyler Finley. Tyler is the owner of Blue Dot Media, a video production and strategy company located here in the Buffalo area. And Blue Dot Media goes beyond typical videography and focuses on making strategic video assets, and we're going to talk about what that is, that are designed to help businesses grow. He's done it for me. I know he can do it for you, and that's why I wanted to talk to him. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Tyler and I have previously worked together, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But Tyler, before we get into what you've done for my business and how you help other businesses, why don't you just start off and tell us a little bit more about yourself? Give us a little background into yourself and Blue Dot Media.
Sure. Well, you said my name's Tyler and I own Blue Dot Media. I'm originally from Rochester, but I've lived in Buffalo for about 5 or 6 years and much prefer it. I have always been creative in some way, whether that be painting in high school. Then I got into photography very heavily. And I think I've had a camera in my hand since high school. So that's like 12 years at this point, which is flying by. And it wasn't until me and my friends actually played paintball. So it's going to be kind of a small tangent, but it's going to tie back into how I started doing video. We played paintball and we wanted to document our journey to see if we can actually get better. Because I don't know if you know about it, but paintball is pretty competitive. And there's tournaments and stuff like that. So we're like, you know what, let's make a YouTube channel and just to follow our journey. And I realized that the photography equipment I had wasn't really up to snuff with what I needed to do video. So I invested all this money for this dumb little YouTube channel. And then his now wife works for a nurse staffing agency and a home care agency. So they have people come in to take care of elderly people that are in your family. But they said, hey, we need video, or we've been thinking about doing a video. You have all this gear. Would you be willing to help us or give it a shot? So I said, all right, I'll see what it is. And I never even thought about doing video as a business. I was just doing it for fun. But the video we did was a testimonial showing the actual care of one of their patients. And it was once I got into this patient's house and realized that this family could help their grandmother and get paid for doing it. And just, I was able to see the real people that the business I was working with was helping. And I was helping that business help more people by making that video. That really kind of hit home with me. And I realized how powerful video could be for businesses. And after that point, I just said, this is kind of something I want to do. And I kind of went from there and took off.
Well, Tyler, you know better than anybody, but I say this to all of my clients, video is where it's at, right? And if you're not embracing video, then you're leaving money on the table from a business perspective. And even from my business, career marketing for people, if people are not engaging on video, they're not touching everybody they can. What do you think it is about video that makes it so powerful?
Well, I think video is so powerful just because it can do so many things for so many different types of businesses. I haven't come across any business who I've talked to that video can't help them in some way. Video has the power to kind of clone you as a business owner. And, say you have 30-minute meetings with new clients 5 times a day, and you're going over the same thing over and over and over. You make a 2 to 3 minute video, kind of like the one we made for you. You now have that you can send people when they reach out to you to say, hey, watch this. It'll help you save the time that you don't have to repeat yourself now. And when you do get to talk to them on the phone or in person, they're prepped and ready to know, like, hey, this is what I'm working with. What are the next steps? So beyond that, you can even take every step of the customer journey and make a video to help address that. Whether that be they want to learn more, you have FAQ videos or testimonial videos to get people the real social proof. I just think video can do so much for businesses. And I know it can be a big jump for some businesses and they don't know where to start, but I promise it's worth it.
Yeah, it is worth it. And when we're done this and I post this, I'm also going to post the link to the video that Tyler did for me. It can be found on my website. It can be found on my LinkedIn. It can be found on my business Facebook, you name it. I have put it everywhere because I love it. So I want to talk a little bit about branding, because that's really the crux of this. I mean, what we're trying to do here, and what you do at Blue Dot Media, is help to communicate and solidify people's brands, whether it is for their business or individually, depending on what it is that they're doing. But we're talking primarily about businesses today. Can you talk a little bit about, working with different types of businesses? Maybe it's startups or established organizations. How does video help with their branding, for in touching new clients and for solidifying the ones they have?
Yeah, I think branding is a pretty big and can be a pretty complex subject. I think a lot of people, when they think of branding, and myself, when I first started my business, I thought of it the same as just your logo, your colors, and your voice, kind of. But I've come to kind of form my own opinion on what a brand is. And when I hear a brand, I think it's someone's gut feeling about your business. And that is something that, it's really hard. You can't tell someone to have their gut feeling, especially because those gut feelings have been developed in humans for thousands of years to help them make the right decisions on things. So you can't directly tell someone that what feeling they should have about your business, but video can help you influence those. And I think it's the next best thing, being able to sit down with someone and have that conversation to help them learn about who you are and what your business does, and really the why behind what you're doing. Video helps you just kind of do that to multiple people 24/7 living on the internet, which is really nice. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
I also think, and tell me if you agree with this, but I think video brings back the humanity to communication these days. We're so far separated, but I think that's why, Zoom and all these platforms have been so helpful during the pandemic, because it helps people reestablish those relationships. It goes further beyond the telephone. And when we can't be in person, it communicates for us, right? So whether we're in a meeting on Zoom or you're transmitting your fabulous new video that you create for a business, it brings that humanity back and helps people really feel that they're making that connection with a
Hmm.
human being, in a business that is run by human beings. There's just so much
Right.
artificial intelligence today and all of these things. It's nice to feel connected. We were designed to feel connected to each other.
Yep.
And I feel
And
that, yeah.
and I think that now the way we're using video more and more, people are getting more comfortable being on video, which really helps that even if you aren't necessarily the most comfortable on camera, but you put out some videos, the people watching it who might be your prospective clients, if they don't take any information away from it, they get to see who you are, how you talk, and that alone can help them reach out to you. If they go, oh, this person sounds cool. This person sounds like someone I'd want to talk to. I didn't really pay attention because I was doing a million other things, but I just remember that they were really easy to work with. I'm going to reach out to them. So I think it has a lot of uses for a lot of people.
What do you say to people, Tyler, when they're resistant because they don't like the way they sound on recordings, or they don't feel that they're photogenic enough? Like, how do you how do you convince people that video is for everybody?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know many people who like being on camera, myself included. I've kind of learned to do it just because, having my business, I feel like I had to put out my own content. And I got over that pretty quickly, because I was doing like a weekly series about different, questions people have about video, or commonly asked questions. So for people who are a little nervous being on camera, the first thing I do in my own kind of recordings is, you're never talking directly into a camera, you're usually talking to me, which I think makes things a little bit easier. I set the camera up, but we talk like this, which kind of helps people bring down their walls and not, deer headlights. But I think in knowing that everybody is self-conscious in some way really helps. And the things that you notice, whether it be your hair or your smile, no one else is going to notice that. You're the only one really paying attention to it. And it happens to me all the time. I'm setting up the shot and I'm like, okay, this looks good. And the person goes, oh, I don't like my hair there. I never even noticed it. I think you look great. I think you sound great. So I think a lot of people, it does take a little bit of time, but knowing that, it's digital, we can redo it. It's not set in stone. But if you do like a pros and cons list, the pros will outweigh the cons. If you feel a little uncomfortable, you will feel much better as soon as you post it and people start giving you awesome feedback on it. And I guarantee you, they'll tell you you look great, or that you won't say anything at all because they didn't notice it. They just heard what you said and they really liked your message.
Yeah, you make a great point, focusing on the message versus focusing on how self-conscious we are. I do a lot of video, but it took me a long time to get there, and to feel comfortable about it. And now I just recognize how helpful it's been to my business and to my own personal confidence. And that's why I started this series too. So I'm glad you mentioned that. It's just really a lot about practice. Can you talk a little bit about the experience from a business standpoint? So if someone wanted to partner with you to help do some video to help promote their services or their products, what could a company expect working with you, Tyler? What might that experience be like?
Yeah, sure. So I try to keep the excuse me, the process the same for everybody, and it usually starts with a discovery meeting, which is just us talking. And I don't even really want to talk about like video or how it can help you. So I like to keep the experience with me as same from business to business as possible. And that way everybody gets the same type of experience, whether they are a multi-million dollar business or one who's just starting up. But it does start with a discovery meeting where we sit down and we just talk about your business. I know at this point I don't really want to talk about how video can help you. I think you probably have your own ideas on how video can help you, but I really just want to learn about, how your business works, what are some of the struggles you're facing, what's working for you. And once we have that meeting, when we talk about your goals, we usually have another meeting where I now present to you not just one video that's going to help you, but my business, I like to focus on video strategy. And like you mentioned, making strategic video assets. And what that means is making, so a lot of businesses are like, all right, let's have a 10-minute video that captures everything that we need to say, which isn't, it's probably not going to work because a lot of times people don't have the attention span to watch a 10-minute video when the information you might want them to see is in minute 8, but they only got to minute 3.
Yeah.
So I like to take a whole strategic outlook on what your goals are and make specific video assets for those goals. And typically it starts out as a brand message video, which is the video that tells people who you are, what you do, why you do it, and the type of people you help. Such as the one that we made for you. And then testimonials are usually the next round, but then there's so many different videos that you can make to help your business, whether that be hiring videos, internal training videos, things like that, where without that discovery meeting, I won't be able to have those ideas. And I think a lot of times people just say, yep, we can help you. I'm going to make you this video. It's going to be great. But I like to make sure that the process that I work through is very thought out and strategic for your business to make sure you're getting what you invested in.
Yeah, I like the word investment because that's exactly what it is. And anytime we create evergreen materials, like you were talking about before, materials we can use over and over again to either attract clients or to serve the people that are already engaged with us, that just continues to live on. So it is an investment, a long-term investment, but one that can be refreshed constantly. I do want to say that when we work together, we also were working with Dana Goodemote, who was my photographer. That was all part of my branding refresh session. But you had a great way of relaxing me, because when I was actually feeling like I was on the spot with the video, I didn't feel that way. It really did become a conversation. And again, I'll post the video for people to see what Tyler's talking about that kind of side talk that, so you're not actually staring into the camera. And it was very conversational and very powerful. So you can kind of get that feel in there, but that's just one sample, right? So when Tyler's talking about the training videos and other things too, there's so many applications for it. Tyler, if people wanted more information, I know that you have a website, and we'll post that here as well in the comment section, but you said do you have a YouTube channel currently or somewhere else that people can go to view some of your products?
So I have my website, and I usually just kind of post things on Facebook and LinkedIn. Admittedly, I don't post it as much as I really should.
But they can follow you on LinkedIn to see what you're posting as well,
absolutely.
Right? To follow and connect. Okay, we'll put that URL there too.
Yeah.
So we'll tie it up here, but I guess the last thing I would ask is, for companies that are considering dipping their toe in the video pool, what what might be some of the first considerations that you would tell them to start thinking about, and that then you would be able to enter to help them? What are kind of the first things that they should think about if they want to test some video?
Sure. I mean, I think, like I said, every business can be using video, and they should be. And I know there's a lot that goes into it, and you sometimes get that analysis paralysis where it's like, man, we don't know where to start, so we're just not gonna. Or I
Yeah.
hear it all the time is we've made it this far without doing video. We don't really need to. But if the past 2 years has really shown us anything, your online presence is so important, especially when people can't walk into your doors and you can't do mouth to mouth or word. What is the person to person, in
Face to
person
face,
networking,
yeah.
face to face. Hopefully, you're not doing mouth to mouth. But yeah, you don't get that face to face interaction with your clients. That the next place they turn is to online. And my advice to businesses who might be thinking about doing video is just starting. It doesn't have to be perfect at first. I think it's really valuable to have, just any kind of you get in front of your audience, whether that be on a cell phone or that be just on your webcam, just to share maybe insightful tips on how you can make their day better or how your business can add value to their day. And don't expect anything in return. Just give them that free advice or free tips, and people will start following you and at least recognizing you. And so when they do meet you, they'll see you in person. Now, that's not to be said that when you want to make a little bit better video, it is highly recommended, if it's something that's going to live on your website, to invest a little bit and start looking into companies who have a little bit higher production quality, and maybe who do it a little more often. That way they can direct you and coach you and give your vision the best life and present your business in the best light possible.
Well, Tyler, you make a great point. There's a place in business for both. For the amateurs like myself, I mean, I've got, my YouTube channel and do all these videos, and for my clients, but for my full website presence, for this rebranding, I chose you to help me tell that story effectively, because that was really that living document, if you will, that video document for me. So you make a good point. Everything doesn't have to be the investment, but you do have to get started. But then you can choose, as a business, you can choose where you want to make that investment for that higher profile communications. So we're going to drop Tyler's information in the comment section. And certainly if you have questions for him, questions about video, let's get that conversation started. Drop it in the comments. I know Tyler will answer, and we will talk about anything that you want and answer any questions. I will drop that information about my video so that you can take a look at that and just get the feel for it. And because I think it's a great illustration of how Tyler works and of his professionalism as well. So thank you, Tyler, for taking your time today to share this with us. Video is critical. It's here to stay, not going anywhere, folks. So get in early, get in, start just playing around with it and have fun with it too. And Tyler will let you have fun, and he will, he'll help you, guide you to ensure that you do. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you so much, Kathy. It was a pleasure.
All right, everyone, until our next episode, live inspired.